Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Panzer General, the 1994 SSI turn-based wargame classic. This is a retro day, whatever, I don't know. We're returning to our periodic look at retro wargames, and Panzer General was a game I played a ton as a kid growing up, and we are on to the Battle of Moscow. We have just won the Battle of Kiev, and we are about to assault Moscow in the fall of 41. So weather will probably be an issue. We're at the tail end of the good season. It'll probably start snowing pretty early on in the mission, and it's a big one. So we'll see how we do. I doubt we win, but the good news is if you don't win decisively, you get a lot more missions to play. If you win decisively, the number of scenarios you get to play in your campaign drops off dramatically because, well, Russia's gone. But let's go ahead and take a look at the briefing.
The time has come for the decisive battle of 1941. The Soviets have marshaled their troops to defend Moscow, the economic and political key to Russia. It is time for you to hurl your forces at Moscow. You must break through their defenses and take Moscow before the combination of winter weather and Siberian reinforcements can steal the initiative. If Moscow can be taken and held this winter, the Soviets will undoubtedly surrender.
Taken and held is the key word. If you win this battle as a minor victory, you do not win. What it'll tell you, based on my own recollection, is a minor victory will basically be like, hey, congratulations on taking Moscow. Unfortunately, the Soviet winter offensive has, retaken the city and we were unable to hang on to our gains. And then you go on to a slightly different variant of the historical scenario path. You get another chance in 43. If you win a decisive victory, however, which means like an early victory, then the Soviet counterattack will fail or won't even happen, and Russia is knocked out of the war.
You must take your objectives by no later than December 4th. In order for us to ensure that we can hold Moscow in the face of a determined counterattack, you should strive to take Moscow several weeks earlier. This is our best chance to win the war in the East.
You can hear his little leather suit crunching around as he moves while he talks to you. Here we go. Of course, Napoleon took Moscow for all the good it did him. Yeah. All right, so here we go, boys. This is a big one. I'm trying to remember what button I pressed to zoom out, because we're going to need to look at the strategy map. Nope, not that one. All right, so general rule of this particular mission is there are two sections where there's going to be considerable fighting. There's fighting in the south near Orel and the objective at Khrushchev. These are all non-core units, so I guess this is it's not really Army Group South, I don't think. But anyway, these are forces that are coming up from the south to assist on the drive on Moscow. The drive to Moscow is sort of in the upper... Is this Moscow? No, Kaluga. I think Moscow's up in the northeast of this map. But there are a number of objectives. There are multiple defensive lines. Here it is over here. And so you've got that initial area in the south, which you can't actually deploy forces for. And then you have sort of a long line of forces over here on the left side of the map where you can deploy, and it's a real long line of stuff. So you've got additional non-core forces down here, but then you've got this long, thin line of where you can deploy troops. There are a lot of enemy troops in this particular scenario, and so I think, and I don't know that I've ever successfully won this battle decisively, but I think the right strategy is use the troops you have north of the river, maybe add some additional troops there, drive over the Russians that are in your way, and then that allows you to you have to move through some rough terrain, but it does allow you to bypass a lot of the Russian defenses and swing wide, taking a couple of cities before you eventually get to Moscow over here. If you try and deploy along that long, thin, narrow line that we were looking at, you run through 3 belts of fortifications, and a lot of Soviet troops. So it's going to be a real challenge either way, but that to me seems to be the path of least resistance. Also, this is going to be a tough scenario because the weather's going to turn pretty quick, and then our air power is going to get negated again pretty quickly as the weather goes bad. Now, I think we're going to need a little bit of air power, and so we're going to actually have sort of two sections here. We're going to deploy some forces to the north, and we are still going to deploy some forces further south to link up with that non-core section of troops. So let's go ahead and first things first. Let's go ahead and get some pioneers up here in this rough terrain or in this area up here, because there are towns, there are fortifications that we got to try and work through. Let's see, where does it make the most sense? I think the first objective is, it's in this entrenchment line. There's the Vizima. Is there another one further south, or is it just Vizima up in the north over here? I think it's just Vizima up in the north. So let's go ahead and deploy these pioneers up here to try and leverage the roadways and the terrain so that we can drive east. Maybe we'll put them in the woods here. I'm assuming we're going to run into considerable enemy troops. We also have a heavy weapons unit, which we will deploy a little bit further south. They're not pioneers, but they will be useful. Actually, 2 heavy weapons infantry units, and then we'll deploy a third one up here. We'll deploy the infantry more or less in the woods. We actually have a lot of heavy weapons units. I kind of didn't realize I had quite that many. We've got Luftwaffe paratroopers, if you will. Are those guys on planes right now? They are. Okay, so they are on planes. We will deploy some bridge engineers up here in the north, and then also down here along this river line to try and allow our troops to move between rivers and whatnot more easily. We've got some tanks. These are the PZ-3s, are better for anti-tank work than anti-infantry work, which I think initially we're going to deal with a lot of anti-infantry stuff. But there's better planes down here avoiding kind of this forested and riverline area up here. So let's deploy these guys a little bit further south to support these heavy infantry. A lot of these are overstrength units too. You can see these guys both have 13. We will deploy some armor on this road up here in the north. A couple of PZ-3s there. And maybe another one down here. Man, I forgot how many PZ-3s I freaking have. I got another one. So many tanks. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, now we've got our support tanks, the PZ-4Ds. These guys are going to be better against infantry. Deploy these above the river in the north, and then we'll put one down here with these PZs in the south. And then we've got a recon car, which we will need a fair bit of recon, both of air units and ground units. We got an anti-tank flak unit, which frankly I don't really see the need for, but I guess I'll deploy it into Smolensk. Just because that's an objective you can't afford to lose. Self-propelled guns will go in the south, where there's more open terrain. More likely to need them down there. Actually, let's... Can I undo that? I can't undo that deploy. I'd rather deploy them on the front, because if I deploy them in a forward hex, they're going to have a better reach with their artillery pieces. Nebewerfer also deploy here in the south. And then we're going to need to deploy probably air forces in the south and the north to try and get recon going. I feel like air is definitely going to be important for us here. I'm so confused. What control am I missing to zoom out? I'm pressing literally all the buttons. I I swear it was the Y, which is not doing anything. Anyway. Alright, so let's do the strategy map here so I can give you guys a little bit of a sense of what we need to do, because this is a big one. So, as you can see here, the yellow, or gold, I guess yellow, represents the objectives we have to take. We've got this kind of long, thin line of troops sort of in the center, and then we've got sort of sporadic troops down here further in the south. We also have this group down here in the south. There's one objective here at Karachev, which is an objective we have to take, but there's a strong Soviet force in the south. That southern force can drive east along the roadway here toward Tula, and I think that's their primary objective, is to take the objectives in the south. And then they can swing north, bypassing the fortifications, to go for Moscow, if that's the direction you want. Alternatively, we do have, you know, sporadic objectives along these trench lines here. The first trench line, it's pretty much all in the north. So we need to, you know, move this concentration north of... What river is this? The Dnieper. And go for Vizima and Rizhev. And you've got sort of this natural boundary of the Dnieper and then also the Volga that's going to try and sort of pin you south of the river. But south of the river, you've got these multiple fortification lines. So it's going to be a tough one. We'll see, you know, if we can do anything. Alright, everybody, just an FYI, the game kind of glitched out graphically, so I had to stop this deployment and then redeploy because I hadn't saved it post-deployment. So the graphics get all wonky, I exit the game, come back and redeploy. I redeploy roughly the way I did before, maybe a few minor differences. But I'm not going to show you all that again, because that would just be boring. And I definitely moved some of my air deployments around. But otherwise, it's pretty close. Okay, 22 turns, which is not a lot. We can see here there's considerable enemy troops in front of us. Can this artillery hit these guys? They can, just barely. Alright. Alright, so first things first, use our own artillery to soften up the enemy guns to make the infantry easier to hit. So we'll move the armor forward here. Can they? There. That will make attacking that infantry in front of us eminently easier. Kind of had hoped they would retreat so I could move forward here. Took more casualties there than I wanted to, but we did manage to destroy that bad guy. Meanwhile, I think I'll need some air power to weaken up the enemy artillery here. So we'll use a Stuka. We've got good weather today, so we'll take advantage of it while we've got it. Move our recon vehicle that way. Can he finish off the enemy artillery? Can, nice. I'm assuming there's artillery back here. Can these guns reach? They can. Nice. I'm assuming there are enemy guns back here, so let's do this. Let's move our recon car down here. There are no guns. Okay. Well, finish off that enemy infantry unit. Just trying to break through the front. There's got to be more troops down there to the south by those minor objectives. There's some guns over there. Hey, my armor can get through the woods there to get to him. Nice. Throw those guns back. Nope. Don't need to attack that enemy armor or enemy infantry if I don't want to. There's probably some enemy. If we reach them. 1 to 6, I'll take that. Move the Bridgers forward a little bit. Knock that infantry unit out. Got to clear my front. I'm worried there's artillery back here that I can't see yet. There isn't. Okay, that's good. Move a PZ-4 up here against the anti-tank. Got it. We did detect more enemy artillery in the wood line behind them. But at least, actually, my armor can get there. Nice. It's a rugged defense, but anything you can do to weaken up the enemy. I know, like, moving armor into woods is generally a bad idea, but that being said, like, hitting their guns before they can hit us, I think is real important. Is this recording from one of your streams back in 2017? No. Why? Okay. They've got anti-aircraft there, which I could hit with my strat bombers and weaken it. Okay, so we killed most of their ammo, or a good chunk of their ammo. No, they do have artillery pieces north and south of that position. But I will try to weaken them as much as I can so their bombardments don't hurt my troops as they move up on them. I'll take the losses. Even if they are 5-star infantry units, also it doubles the benefit is doubled because now I've got, I think, the bomber's fully covered from an enemy air attack, and the enemy has no more ammo that they can shoot at our bomber. Okay. I'm a little nervous here about moving these guys up in trucks, because it'll certainly invite an enemy attack. I mean, yeah, the resolutions aren't great. That's true. All right, so what do I want to do here? Hoping there's no enemy armor back this way. It probably is. Nice! 0 to 8 wiped him out. And there's an enemy tank back here, which we can at least suppress with artillery, even if we won't destroy it. Size 13. Very good result. And got him. So destroyed an enemy T-34 unit right off the bat. Let's go for this enemy anti-aircraft unit. Drive it back as well. No idea where the enemy air is. They gotta be around here somewhere. Provide some fighter escorts for those Stukas. Nearly finish off the enemy anti-aircraft gun. Oh, there's another one just back there. I was gonna say we nearly wiped out that enemy anti-aircraft gun. Unfortunately, there's another one. Alright, now we got to attack these enemy troops to the north. Assuming there's artillery back here. There is. Alright, slow moving in the north because of that enemy artillery. So nearly wiped out this enemy infantry, but there will be another one coming here attacking us, probably wiping out this non-core unit north of the river. Alright, and I think the rest is just that southern force. Well, we do have the Luftwaffe unit, but we've got the southern force down here. So there's enemy T-70s, or KV-2s, this T-70, T-70. Artillery back. Frankly, kind of surprised the enemy didn't retreat there. We inflicted... Oh, god damn it. Sometimes it gets laggy where it's like, oh, actually, we're not going to let you fight here. Right, drove off that enemy artillery. Very nice. That infantry might be in trouble. Are these all pioneers? They are. Okay, so we weaken the enemy troops at their bridge engineers at Kharchev, if that's how you pronounce it, but I expect a strong enemy counterattack. Maybe we can finish off their artillery out this way. We did! Our recon trucks finished off the artillery over there. So we destroyed a KV-1. We also took out artillery. Let's pull these guys back just slightly, hopefully to provide, or maybe we'll put them south to provide a blocking force in front of the guns to keep these self-propelled guns in the south safe, because, well, I think we can replace some of the infantry when we take some of these towns easily enough. I'm a little worried about our ability to replace the self-propelled guns. Those are going to be more expensive. I don't know what to do with our paratrooper unit here. I'd rather just kind of sit it in place. But alright, I didn't attack because I was worried there was enemy artillery adjacent to this infantry, but maybe there isn't. I would assume there would be someone over here. Maybe not. Alright, so I wasted some moves for guys that weren't really a threat. Okay, well, whatever. We will move one armored unit south because I do want to take the airfield and town near Brzezinsk to prevent the enemy from moving down on us or moving into our flank. So I think I'll take both of these armored units and swing them south just because we've got to clear our flanks before we move, I think. Probably can't take out every Soviet unit in this game, but you definitely need to take out some. Alright, that's going to do it for the turn. I assume we've got some prestige to spend. Hey, England. Good to see you. Sorry I've been streaming a little bit later. My almost 4-year-old, not almost 4-year-old, my 3-year-old does not like to go to bed. So it makes things a challenge sometimes. All right, we do have one core slot. gonna get one more PZ4. I feel like having mobility but also soft attack is gonna be worthwhile. And I'm gonna deploy it probably in the south. Well, no, actually, let's wait. Let's wait on that until we take some towns where we can afford to deploy these troops. There's KV-1, a lot of Soviet troops moving around, but none of them attacked us right away anyway. A lot of Soviet air units moving. I don't see any IL-15s. Some anti-aircraft fire, some artillery fire as we expected. Strong infantry counterattacks. Finished off one of our non-core infantry units, the guy in the north who was badly damaged, I think. Okay, so that was not as bad as I had thought it could be anyway. Let's get our air units. We've still got good enough weather, so let's take advantage of that. Where did our 109 go? Where did I tell him to go? Oh, he's up here. Okay. He's weaker, so I'd rather have him finish off the Soviet air unit. Strategic bomber will move north to hit that anti-aircraft unit. Again, destroying most of its ammo. A little nervous about not flying up there to escort it, but there are a lot of enemy fighters around. Or maybe not a lot, but some. Is this anti-aircraft out of ammo? It is not. Let's do this. 7, damage that artillery. Destroy that enemy anti-aircraft. Destroy that artillery. This is why you keep bridging units along rivers, because you can quickly redeploy your troops. Although it helps that there is actually a bridge there. Move our recon vehicle forward, knock out that infantry unit. We've got a light tank over here, an ST, a BT-7. Through on both sides here. Let's see if I can mark this guy. Alright, can this... They can hit. Alright. What about the Nibberwerfer? Can they hit? No. Alright, so they're going to move forward with supporting... Alright, finished off that enemy infantry. Mount these boys up. Nope, not gonna have good success there, so we'll hit those guys with artillery also. Rugged defense, my ass. They also got a rugged defense. Alright. Let's just try and hit this enemy fighter, I guess. As much as we can take their air power out and get freely at their bombers, that'll be helpful. Alright, we've got fighters down here, so we'll move our Stuka here where it's escorted, and it'll finish off that artillery. We do have our strategic bomber vulnerable there, but it is what it is. Move this artillery forward here. I don't think they'll pull their engineers out of that town. We're at least through the first belt of defenses. I don't know if we want to move these guys in up the river. I thought we'd have done a little better on that attack. Alright. We're not going to be in range to hit much with our artillery next turn. Okay. Oh, didn't destroy them either, but we've got a little bit of a swing to the south to take Britain. It's kind of along our flank. We're working our way toward this first trench line here. Actually, that's not too far from Krajev, or however you pronounce that, which is the first objective that I anticipate us taking here just now. Now that I hit it with artillery and it evaporated. Probably should have gone for the anti-tank gun, but we can go for it now. Alright, we'll take that town. So there's the first objective taken. We've got... Are these T-34s or more T-70s that look to be coming south? There you go. Finish them off. So the Southern Army group has achieved some meaningful success, I think. We could deploy troops there now, too. We'll take a hit on those guys. Move in, take that airfield. We'll wait to attack. If they want to attack our armor there, we'll see what happens. They might have some success there, but I think we can take Orel next turn, and then we can begin driving I don't know if that will go to Moscow, but certainly toward Tula for the army group in the south. Where are these guys again? They're kind of in the south. There's no objectives over here. There is a town, Kirov. I'm gonna have these guys swing south to go for Kirov just to bypass the marshes here. Oh, fuck. I moved him adjacent to that Russian infantry unit. Well, this non-core unit's gonna get shredded. Can paratroopers still paradrop in this game in bad weather? I feel like that's an important question. Alright. End turn. If you did notice, I did have to flag this stream as sensitive topics because apparently anything, or maybe I'm reading it wrong, but discussions of politics, which is understandable, and war, which I guess this involves discussion of World War II, are considered sensitive topics according to Steam now, so it's like a mature content warning type deal. Alright, they are filling out those trenches with infantry. Also, they did bomb us with some bombers there. Rizhev is up this way. Alright, my bridge engineers are going to move up over and they're going to plant on this river here to help us hit Rizhev more directly, I think. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised the weather's still pretty good. Okay. Alright, so our bridge engineers took that town. They will deploy next turn. Alright, the group north of the Mizol has finally seen some success and basically wiped out that Soviet group up there. Meanwhile, we should finish off these bombers here. 24 fuel. He's probably got to retreat. Where's the airfield? We'll get more fuel. Silly BF-109s. What did you think you were doing trying to fight in Russia? You don't have the fuel to do that. But we'll destroy some Soviet bomber units here this turn. At least one, hopefully. Alright, we know there's an enemy force building up along these trenches. Vizima's over here, so we're going to have to crack the nut over that way. So we're going to have to break through this trench line, trying to bypass as much as I can. It's sort of an interesting balance of being like, you got to do something to protect your flanks, but you also, you know, don't want to do too much. T-34's down here. Let's hit them with air. And, of course, there's air support, or anti-aircraft fire. I guess that's what you'd expect. Where did that Soviet infantry unit go? Why are they running over here? Just to get in our rear, maybe, and pose a problem? Alright. We've got one unit on the trench lines. They've pushed an enemy armored unit back that was already damaged. We do need to tidy up our lines back this way. I don't love the idea of taking huge losses, but I don't want to leave an engineer and a unit they can build bases on in our rear. So we're going to move the Southern Army force toward Tula. I think that's the smart play. I don't know. Like, I don't know how much you should risk leaving stuff behind you. Should have moved that Stuka north. The safe play would have been to go after this guy here. It's fun how you can't unmount artillery and shoot the same turn, but you can't mount and then shoot artillery the same turn, but you can unmount it, shoot, and then remount. Strange. Alright, a lot of enemy infantry popping up in front of Vizima. I wonder if they don't have anti-air over that way, though. I can't reach the anti-air to the south, unfortunately, to pound it. So maybe let's hit Vizima and it'll give me some intel on what's back there. Alright, so there is an enemy anti-aircraft unit back there. There's one artillery piece. Basically no armor. It's all infantry, interestingly enough. I did bomb the enemy anti-aircraft, so they've only got... Well, no, actually we didn't bomb the anti-aircraft, duh. So that's not protected then. Where is this? Okay. I don't love that there's T-34s up this way for me to have to deal with it. Or the fact that my recon car is probably going to be in trouble from large-scale enemy counterattacks, but... I'm assuming there's a bad guy in this town. What is this town? Volkov. Alright. That does it for the turn. We'll move forward. I need more units, but I also need to identify where they're needed. And I don't think I've quite identified that yet. Enemy fighters coming up. At least one. Two. Oh, I thought they were going to go... Alright, I guess our bomber did okay against them. Surprisingly enough, that recon car did okay against T-34s, too. He's, you know, just dodging, bobbing and weaving. Alright, they are forming up a strong defensive line along those trenches. Gonna need artillery to unlock them. I wonder how many resources the Soviets have, though, to throw in this particular scenario. To throw in your way. Because it feels like there'd have to be some cracks somewhere. I can't believe the weather has stayed good for so long. That is not typical in this scenario, I don't think. We haven't taken an airfield yet either, so that's a little bit of an issue. Actually, undo that. Does this guy have ammo? No, he's not. Alright, we'll move him adjacent to our own bombers. Nice! Wiped him out. I've got more fighters up there, don't I? Thought I should have one or two more. I got the BF that refueled and then the FW, which is still around. Alright. Shot those enemy fighters down. I'd like to use my strat bomber. I should have just selected it. Alright, so took out a bunch of the ammo they had there. Weaken those enemy T-34s. Wow, 4-1. That's not good. Okay, these guys are gonna try and bypass this enemy formation and go for oral. Maybe they're a little bit weaker up there. You get on the river there. But the problem is there's no room to maneuver. The river to the north, there's very narrow frontage. The river to the south, there's very little frontage. Let's see what they see. I don't see an actual enemy force, at least on those hexes to the north. I'm going to move the Pioneers south of the river just because they're going to be needed to help deal with those entrenchments. I'm almost tempted to move the bridge engineers on the northern part of the river further east. It would have been smart, I think, to lead with them. which I did not do. I'm not going to attack these infantry until I've got artillery there to soften them up. Oh, come on. You're supposed to finish off that enemy artillery. You were also not supposed to drive directly east toward the enemy armor. I thought you were going to swing north. Can't believe these recon cars fared so well on the defensive against these T-34s. I can't imagine that'll last. So we took that southern objective. No reinforcing in our immediate flank. Another objective taken. We're moving toward whatever that town is called. I was hoping I'd be able to spot if there were enemy troops in this town. Great. Rugged defense. Just what I did not want. Should be able to mop it up next turn with the artillery hitting them, but it was a mistake to attack in the first place. I should have waited a turn. No, don't do that. Tula is the objective for you. For you in the south, Tula is the objective. Okay, well, you ran into enemy fighters. I guess that's a good thing that you hit them. Alright, paratroopers. Maybe we drop them behind the enemy lines. They still have some anti-aircraft. Still have some ammo left. They can only shoot once, though. trying to clear off the units along our flank. Make sure no objectives get taken from us from behind by surprise. We'll hold off on sending them anywhere quite yet, I think. No, you know what? They can move. They can move east to support the drive on Tula. If the town does get retaken, we should have troops nearby to support. Alright. So, I could use some additional troops, I think in the south. This little concentration near Kirov, even though it's not in a primary objective, feels offensive in nature. Let's go ahead and buy a unit there to deal with it. We're up to 2,000 prestige. Good job, boys. Alright. End turn. Alright, so one of the fighters is pulling back. We've got a lot of troops that are sitting on trucks, which would be very juicy targets for enemy aircraft. The Soviets did decide to get a little bit more aggressive than I anticipated with their armor. They didn't just sit back in their fortifications. They came out of them. Launched some attacks. I don't have a lot of TAC air that can hurt them too badly. 29 fuel. You gotta go refuel somewhere. Where's the closest airfield? Back here, I guess. Got him. Now the 109's low on fuel again. Alright, enemy bombers come to play. I think we're going to drop our paratrooper back there by the enemy armor. Somehow our artillery decided not to be worth anything. They still gave us a rugged defense, huh? Hey, look, an IL. Alright, our bridge engineers did their damnedest. Oh, shit. That was bad. I don't want to attack a KV there. Looks like I'll just die if I do, so let's not do that. And maybe don't do that. I don't want to charge headlong into a, whoops, bloodbath. Can I swing around and hurt this guy? Nice. I'd define that as hurting him. Alright, so... finish him off. Finish off that infantry. Damage those T-34s. Which, for whatever reason, their T-34s were like, actually, we are not interested in whooping you down by this airfield. We're just going to go ahead and pull out north, so I'm okay with that. All right, so I think our southern flank is secure. Taking this airfield and this town, Brzezinsk. I think we're good to swing north now. Rugged defense, come on. Rolling up this line ever so slowly. Enemy is pulling back to Rzhev. Alright, I was wrong. There's infantry in front of us. I wonder if they built them all this turn. Really? Alright, we're driving on Tula still. From the south. Attacking cities with armor is not the best thing to do tactically in this game, but sometimes it makes sense. You know, when you're in a hurry, you don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for the Russians to get stronger. Something. Alright. Like that little jut out means there's something over there. I feel like they're gonna, you know, hit us from behind and try and retake Kharkov. I wonder if it actually makes sense to throw in like an anti-tank gun there just in case they swing something around. It'd be an auxiliary, but it'd be... I'm looking for something cheap. With modest amount of capability. Okay, this northern drive continues. We're about to get into the mountains. We're actually keeping pace with the Army Group Center push. Alright. That does it for this turn. When's the snow coming? It's gotta be soon. No, PlayStation 1, Ancient Gamer. Well, although, so the game originally, what I will say is, the game, when it released, I believe, released on PC. It was on PC, it was on PlayStation. I don't know if it was on any other consoles. Strong Soviet counterattacks this turn. I played it on PlayStation 1, but I think most people, and this was a hit game, I think most people played it on PC. Goodbye, aisle 15. No ammo for him, huh? Okay. Can I finish off that damn gun? Alright, let's paratroop you down into the airfield. We'll take the airfield. Kind of remarkable how quickly that line folded, and I don't know if it's because we threatened Rzhev to the north, but really unbuckled this line pretty damn quick. And artillery should reduce that enemy likewise very quickly. I'm waiting for us to start running into the major supply issues, which we all know are coming, where we start running out of fuel. Wow. That was much more successful than I thought we would have. Trucks, boys. Trucks. Into your trucks. There's actually not even a reason to keep any of these guys down here because these are not, even in a worst case scenario that the enemy does have troops we don't notice and they come down on us. They're not, that's not an objective for us to hold. Hmm. Alright. You need ammo, but there's an airfield here we just took, so I don't think we can actually rearm there while there's enemy units adjacent to the field, but you know, we're pushing north to Rzhev. Is this guy out of ammo? He is. So he's at 8. Let's elite reinforcements gives him some ammo. Get that armor onto that. Kind of a salient. Yeah, it looks like they really dug in around Rzhev. I have no ammo up there. Okay, Can they refuel? I know they can't rearm when... I don't think they can rearm when they're adjacent, but maybe they can refuel. Alright, finish off that artillery piece. Alright, we are at Tula, or however you pronounce that in the south. I'm assuming there will be a large enemy force here. Usually the enemy won't come out of their fortifications to attack you. Again, we've seen a few exceptions to this stream, if you will, but... Their armor is to the north. I think that was a newly built armored unit. Yeah, I'll show the strategic map here in a sec. I'm overdue on that. Whoops. That was a misclick. Alright, so... that's it. Alright, so let's look at the strategic map here. An hour and 20 minutes in. So we have basically overrun the first line of entrenchments from the southern edge of the map all the way north toward around Kirov, but even this area is pretty well unbuckled. There's not a strong enemy force around here. We're mopping up with kind of weak forces on that first line. And then if we move north, we can see Vizima is still held by the enemy, but it's encircled by artillery. We will take that next turn. They seem to have a strong concentration around Rezev. But by taking Vizima, we should be able to approach it from the south and flank it, while these other troops approach from the front. We've got a small force to the north here, which is dealing with isolated enemy units, and will begin driving east, hopefully getting across the Volga, so they can move in toward Kalinin, and then maybe make a flank move around the lake to the north. Lake of Moscow. Meanwhile, that second line of entrenchments hasn't been scraped yet, and there's still 3 enemy units, or 3 enemy objectives there. Meanwhile, in the south, we've kind of broken out, or at least out of the initial sort of pocket that you have in the south. We're now approaching Tula, which I'm assuming is this massive glob of hardened Soviet troops. We do have a couple of artillery units there. We don't have much air, but we do have a couple of artillery units down near Tula that will hopefully be able to help us reduce those enemy units. And time will tell. but that's where we are right now in the strategic situation. But following that little overview of the situation, I think that's as logical a spot as any to wrap up. So that's going to do it for today's episode, our return to retro wargaming days. I guess it's a weekend, so I don't know what to call it, but that'll do it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at Panzer General on the PlayStation 1, the Battle of Moscow. We're doing, okay. I don't think we're on pace for a clear, decisive victory, but there's still time, and we'll see how things play out in our next episode. Until our next episode, however, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.